Hi, I'm JimmyNavio. We are here for another episode of Hit the Bucket. Thank you all for being here. Welcome, guests of our guests. If you're here from Angel's community, please enjoy the show. Before I bring everybody on, I do like to just mention a couple of things. If you're listening to this podcast on YouTube or anywhere else on the internet, we do this show live on Twitch at twitch.tv/JimmyNavio, so you should come participate when we do it live. It's a lot of fun. Also, just a reminder, we do have a YouTube channel. You can click on the link in the description to go subscribe. It helps out a lot. We're trying to get those YouTube numbers up. Other than that, if you want to get a hold of us for any reason whatsoever, you can find us at hitthebucketpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to be a guest, if you got a topic idea, if you want to send us some hate mail, whatever the case may be, that's the place to do it. hitthebucketpodcast@gmail.com. And if you're here expecting a normal stream, I'm sorry, but we moved the podcast to Tuesday. So tonight is podcast night, and we have a guest with us, a very special guest, a partnered Twitch streamer who has many stories to tell us. And she goes by the name of NakedAngel. No, I'm just kidding. It's NakedAngel. She's going to be mad at me for saying that. Don't call her Naked. Don't call her Angel. Her name is NakedAngel. So without further ado, let's go ahead and switch over and let's bring them on. Hello.
Nice.
You like that?
NakedAngel. Yep, that's me.
I know.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
So I was saying before the podcast started, you're our first guest officially that does not use a camera when they create content. So
yeah.
I was bound to happen eventually because there are quite a few streamers and content creators who do not use a camera, but you're our first.
Yay.
So you have officially popped our no cam cherry.
Glad to be able to pop the cherry.
James, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Jimmy. How are you?
Dude, your mic sounds like butter. Is that,
Thank you.
That new microphone?
Yes.
Damn.
It's worth every penny I spent on it.
James gonna start doing ASMR streams now.
Hey.
That voice. Well, hey, I'm glad you guys are here. And for those who don't know, NakedAngel, she's a Twitch streamer. She's been streaming for, you said, 4 years now?
5.
5.
Yeah.
Quite the feat.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how long has Twitch been around?
I don't know, 6 years, I guess?
Yeah.
Before they were...
I think so. Yeah, before they were Justin TV.
Right.
Were you around during the Justin TV days or...
No, right after that I was.
I had a Justin TV account. I didn't stream, but I did dabble with some of that stuff back then. But man, 5 years, that's insanity. Uh-oh.
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 Crisis averted. I think I almost closed OBS on accident just now.
Nice.
We're good.
Professionals.
Professional streamer. This is what we do here. And what was it that got you into Twitch? What interested you? I would like to hear how it started.
Well, an ex-boyfriend had shown me a link to Twitch, which I had never heard of before, where a guy was screaming his ass off playing Amnesia. And
Nice.
I thought that was hilarious. So then I started following different people, and then I found a community, and people asked me, hey, do you stream? I'm like, no, I don't even know how to stream. And then someone was like, hey, I could teach you, and you could just, show us your games. I'm like, cool. So it started out as a friend thing and as a casual thing, and then it just kind of kept growing. So for the first 2.5 years, I did it around my job, casually when I had time, and then I took it full time about 2.5 years ago.
Very cool. And before that, you had some interesting jobs.
I have had interesting jobs, yes.
One specifically, we're talking.
No, before that one even, you mentioned a couple things. Let me pull that. I should have had it up. I've been switching between screens here. But before the juicy one, you did mention one or two other ones.
Yeah, I worked for county government, for a building department, and then for criminal justice, where I started as administrative type work, and then I moved up to a community service officer. Then I got pregnant, and I decided to go home and stay at home with the baby. And after a while, me and my ex-husband now decided I needed to make some money because we couldn't rely on one income. So that's when I got the juicy job.
The juicy job. And
juicy, huh?
And what was that?
Phone sex operator.
Yeah. When you sent me the description and I read that, I was like, okay, this is a first for me. Because I've always I know that it's obviously something that people do. You have a skill, people want it. I have zero qualms about it, but it does raise a lot of questions in my mind about experiences I'm sure you've had. So if we can, I'd like to kind of get into that a little bit. So you started doing that when you were pregnant?
No, after I'd had the baby.
Oh, okay.
So whenever he would come home, he would take care of the baby, and then late at night, I would end up doing the calls, late night, making some money, which is pretty good money,
I'd imagine.
Yeah, they usually pay $2 a minute for their calls with a 10-minute minimum, and I would make half that at the time. So I wasn't prepared when I started, because I was started in a no limits, which is not, the typical vanilla type thing. So I got a lot of very weird calls where I didn't understand what they were asking me. You want me to what? What's that?
I mean, I can imagine what no limits means. It probably there aren't a lot of boundaries. You can imagine
it can happen. And I thought I had a healthy imagination, but no, I got surprised a number of times. But a lot of it is just people think it's sexy and they're like, oh, you probably sat on the phone getting, excited all the time. Not really. It's not like that.
Well, it's work.
It's work, yes. And you don't know these people. So you're talking to stranger number 14 today, and he wants, his toes sucked. And there's nothing wrong with that. Right? I mean, I no kink shaming. I'm an open person, but I'm not into toe sucking specifically, but I can pretend to be for $2 a minute. So there was a lot of things that they would call it, but mostly it was the ones that would make me laugh. Which I obviously couldn't laugh unless they wanted me to laugh. So some of the stories where the guys would call in and they would make these incredible, loud, giant monster sounds, once they'd finished.
Done their deed.
Okay, I see.
Big belly yelling, just unbelievable. You okay there, bud?
Oh yeah, I'm just up.
And you had to not laugh. You had to.
I had to not
stay
laugh.
in
But
character.
The one that got me the most was a guy, and it was a normal. I don't even remember what it was about because it was normal. But at the end of it, he goes, ho, 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 ho.
Like straight up Santa Claus?
Santa Claus. And I'm real quiet, hitting the mute button because I'm trying real hard not to snicker. And I'm like, you okay? And he's like, oh, darling, I forgot to tell you there's two things I like to do when I'm coming, and it's laughing and coming at the same time. I'm like,
What the heck?
well, there you go. Thanks, Santa.
He sounds like he probably has a good life.
Yeah, I think he was Santa Claus.
So, I wanted to, my Alexa just went off for some reason. That was really weird.
Alexa, call sex hotline.
No, don't do that. How dare you? So when you say phone, was it actually phone, or was it because I know there's internet services now that kind of do the same thing, but
just phone.
Straight up phone.
I would pretend to be I'd have a website, several websites we had, because I worked for a couple of different companies, and they would have the character and their bio, and they would pick the person they wanted, and I was what you got, only I could do different voices. So
that you brought up a really good point. That's actually something I was going to ask you. When you're doing that type of thing, I imagine that'd be a useful skill set to have, right? If you can do multiple voices, if you can like play different characters and stuff. So
basically, yeah, because you're opening up the market for what people are shopping for. So if they're looking for a young teen sounding kind of girl, then that's great. However, if they want a MILF, you're going to have to go a little bit, deeper in your voice. So yeah, if you can accommodate different voices and different ages and stuff, then that does help.
So did you, in that process, obviously, like you're spending a lot of time playing characters and things like that, like, did it affect your day-to-day? Like, I notice when I'm around certain people too much or like whatever, or like my voice, even my laugh changes. Like, did you ever find yourself losing yourself and like using the wrong voice in public or like...
No, because I've always done this, even before phone sex. Like, I always played around with my voice because I like doing voice stuff, and I've done acting and stuff. So if it comes out just because that's who I am and part of what I do. So, no. Okay.
What was the weirdest voice request? Like, they were just like, can you be Yoda choking? Like, was...
One time I got very excited because I was playing World of Warcraft. I had never had anyone ask me a geeky question. I'm like, oh my gosh, please, finally, somebody be geeky with me. And he's like, World of Warcraft? I'm like, oh, yes, I do. Do you know the Taurens? I'm like, oh my God, this guy actually knows something. Are we going to talk about something cool? Nope. He wanted me to moo.
Oh, no.
He wanted me to be I'm not mooing. You're not paying me $2 a minute for this. So he wanted me to be a Tauren named Bessie that mooed for 10 minutes. And I mooed. And yeah.
You mooed your ass off.
I did.
Just Frost in chat says the Tauren are pretty sexy.
Apparently he thought so. And I had to explain all of that. Yeah. So it was interesting. And I was so excited because I'm like, yes, a nerdy thing. I'm so excited. No. Why?
It went right down the wrong rabbit hole.
It did. And I was so excited, but nope.
So your then husband, while you were doing this, he was totally on board with it. Was there ever a point where he like overheard it and got jealous or anything like that?
No, he never got jealous because I was not getting turned on by this kind of stuff. He didn't, however.
You don't move for me, damn it.
Never move for me. He, however, didn't want to hear it. Specifically didn't want to see it because while I never showed them me, they always wanted to show me them, whether it was pictures of them or video of them. So I know one time he walked in there and he saw the video and he just turned right back around because it was fairly shocking what the guy was doing in the video. He's like, nope, never mind. Can you put something on the door next time so that I know when you're doing a call? But yeah, he never got jealous because it's really not like that. People assume, oh wow, I was just sitting there being all excited all the time. Really not the case.
Right. Mm-hmm. So you mentioned also before the stream that at one point you had a pretty dedicated a stalker. Was that during the phone sex times, or was that later? Was that like when you had moved on to Twitch and stuff?
Oh no, that was through Twitch. Yeah, I gained that stalker through Twitch.
Understandable. I've heard similar experiences from other female streamers.
Yeah, someone who I didn't realize really, really liked me, and they did message me at one point and tell me that they had to leave Twitch because they'd fallen in love with me and they knew that was unhealthy for them. They hoped I had a good life, and then they continued to stalk me for the next 3 years. They come around every great once in a while with different messages and stuff, but they would send me pictures of public record stuff. So it got pretty intense. Yeah.
That's not good. Did they ever try and like show up where you lived or anything like that? Because
no, he's in France, so it's not really. It's not a local stalker situation, but that's why I keep certain things to myself, like my full name and what have you, just because I do have a daughter, and I'd like to keep her away from people being weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you never know what kind of information people can dig up from like the smallest
thing.
And
they can. They can.
Yeah, I
And they
try.
do.
I try pretty diligently to remain as anonymous as possible, even though I show my face on the internet. You know, like there's some steps you can take, but if someone really, really wants to know, I'm sure they could probably figure it out. A guest we had on a while back, David Bond, he's gone to very great lengths, even as far as changing his legal name to make sure that people don't discover his real identity.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy. The internet's a pretty all you gotta do is spend a little time on like one of the deep corners of 4chan to realize that there's some weird ass people out there.
Yeah.
People
and people
with a
become
lot of time.
exactly, and they become very, obsessed over certain people when the reality is a lot of times you just really don't know a person. So,
Right.
but sometimes they develop kind of an just way too close obsession about a person. So yeah, you do have to be careful the amount of information you put out there.
Yeah, man. James trusted me when I picked him up at the airport in San
Oh,
Jose
man.
for TwitchCon. I could have just thrown him in a trunk and never been heard
Yeah.
of again. You know?
That's exactly what my mom was thinking when I told her about that. She was like, because I don't tell my mom when I'm doing stuff. I'm a young man. She cares about my health and well-being. So when she found out I was in San Jose, because it was during it was during my semester. So I was in Vermont, on the other side of the country. She was like, "What? You're in San Jose? How did you get there?" And I was like, "Well, a plane, obviously." She was like, "But like for what? Like what did you do? What did you see?" And I was like, "Well, I was here for TwitchCon. I hung out with so and so people." And she was like, "And you knew them?" And I was like, "Well, I knew them through Twitch." And you see like a look in her eye, like, "What? People from the internet? Pedophiles?" And I'm like, "Mom, calm down."
My mom is like that. Every time I tell her something like this, she's like, "Oh my gosh, please be careful." And when I've met people, she assumes every last one of them is a serial killer.
Oh yeah, they are, all of them.
All of them.
Every person you meet from the internet is a serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, I've had a few people even in my time on Twitch that would say my real name in chat, like just like as kind of like a "hey, I know who you are" type thing, and even that like throws me off. I'm like, "Oh, who is this person?" It's just like it's very jarring when I can only imagine in your situation. I'm familiar with the unfair treatment between males and females on the internet. You probably have a lot more to worry about than I do.
Well, there's a lot more males on Twitch than there are females, and of course, males are males, and a lot of them, on Twitch, they like to try to reach out and find other people to connect with. Unfortunately, sometimes they don't have the social skills to know when too much is too much, and that is a problem.
Right.
But that's a problem with
some of them
any
just want to see your feet. Is that such a big deal?
Oh, I've had all kinds of requests for feet, boobs, you name it.
Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah, I found, I don't know what it is about feet and Twitch, because a lot of the girl streamers that I talk to, they're like, yeah, that's usually the main one. People keep asking for feet pics.
I think it's just
like,
to mess with you.
God.
I don't know. Maybe it's true, but I think it's just to mess with you.
Yeah, how much of it is a meme? How much you're actually looking for feet pics?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, do you have any experience with any other audio stuff besides obviously the jobs you've done?
I mean, other than being in chorus in school, not really.
Yeah, have you done any like voice acting? Because you said you do voices and stuff. Have you...
Not professionally. I mean, I have for phone sex, but I've done it for videos, like video games. I will do different voices depending on what game I'm playing. So I've done a lot of those.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned also in your bio that you were an army brat.
I am.
Growing up. Do you? How many different places did you end up living?
We lived in Panama, Central America for 4 years. Other than that, it was mostly southern U.S., so it was Florida, Georgia, Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia.
Wow. That's crazy. I've lived in California almost my entire life, except when I was a little baby. I lived in Idaho, but that's about it.
Potato state.
Unless you count my 2 years in Brazil, but that wasn't really like living. That was kind of a different situation.
Mm-hmm. You were there to save souls, Jimmy.
I was. Naked Angel. I'll mention it. My audience hears it all the time, but I was a Mormon missionary in Brazil for 2 years. So.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
How far I have fallen.
That's funny. My community is called the Fallen, so you're welcome.
All right. I knew there was a reason I felt welcome there.
Yeah.
So being an Army brat, do you find that it was different? Like, as far as making friends and kind of like, were you kind of an introvert? Is that why you got really into media and games and stuff? Like, how did that affect your kind of social upbringing?
I was actually really good at making friends. Keeping them, though, with us moving around, not really the greatest. But I've always been easy to get along with. Like, I know a lot of people on Twitch have social anxiety and they struggle with all that. I know a lot of my friends do, but it's just not something I have a problem with. What was hard for me is being around so many different types of people in the military. There's every race, every religion, everything in the world. So coming back home once my parents had or my dad had gotten out of the military to a small town country that wasn't quite as advanced as we were was very jarring and shocking for me, because I didn't actually realize that stuff like that still went on. I thought that was back in the day. So because we moved around and we were always on we were on base. So that for me was very shocking, but I've always been, I guess it made me more open-minded and easy to get along with all kinds of people.
Yeah, you make a good point. I honestly kind of experienced the same thing a little bit, which is, okay, this is kind of, now that you mention it, I started thinking about it. I grew up in California pretty much my entire life. I would go and visit my uncles and aunts and family in Idaho every once in a while. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, I was raised in California, in like Los Angeles, Valencia, like fairly diverse places. Mm-hmm. And like you said, I never realized that like as a kid, I didn't realize that stuff still went on. And it wasn't honestly until I went on my mission, funny enough, when I was paired up with other missionaries that were like from Utah or from Ohio or Texas. And they would, like, when we were alone, some of the stuff they would say without even thinking that it might be racist or offensive, that's just how people talked where they were from. It was like very surprising to me. I was like, you're a Mormon missionary in Brazil, and when no one's around, this is how you talk. Like, it was very eye-opening for me to be like, wow, I didn't realize there were people like you in America. Like, I was so like a California person where everyone just kind of was who they were, and I was really ignorant to how much of that stuff still goes on.
Yeah, that was me. I was a teenager before I even realized it. So we had moved back to Savannah, Georgia, and it was shocking. It was really shocking. And then here in a small town in Florida, just surprising when you're never, around that. And then you realize that, yikes, that's not back in the day. That's now. Mm-hmm. I've been sheltered my whole life. So, yeah, it's unfortunate, but people are people.
Yeah. We'll get there someday.
I hope so.
Someday. So, your choice to stream with no camera, then, is that just a result of all of your previous experiences, or is that what is it about showing yourself to the internet specifically that you just said, nah, I'm good. I don't need to do that?
Well, there's two reasons. Mostly two reasons. One, I'm actually very nervous about looking in the camera. Mm-hmm. I've been like that since a kid. So like when my dad would pull out a video and he'd be running around the house trying to guess. I'm ducking and diving behind the couch because it just made me uncomfortable to stare at that eyeball staring at me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what it's seeing. I couldn't tell. It's just that part made me uncomfortable. But the second reason too is there is a big difference with how people are treated on Twitch, particularly women, when they can see you. And I am a girl who does wear a lot of low cut tops in my natural everyday life. Not ashamed of my body. I have tattoos on my chest, and I don't want to bring that into my channel. While I don't have a problem with anybody else doing it, that attracts a bunch of younger viewers that are just going to be like, oh my God, boobs, 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 boobs. I've never seen boobs. Like, your boobs are great. Yeah. And I don't want that for my channel. I want people who are supportive, who are friendly, who are positive. I can be lewd. I'm probably one of the lewdest people, on Twitch, but it's with a line of, not making everything in chat something for a little kid to, get excited about. So,
yeah. Yeah,
it's very understandable.
Well, and it's kind of, I think in a way, it's kind of fun to leave some of that to the imagination, right? Like, there's a lot of power in words, and like you're using different voices and kind of like playing characters and all that stuff. I've been lurking in your channel the last few days, and it's interesting. It kind of changes the whole experience when you don't constantly see the person on the other end.
Well, yeah. I mean, in phone sex, you can, no matter what, you can imagine the person as sexy as you want them to be.
True.
And no matter how sexy I am not going to meet up to your level of sexy in your head. So for phone sex, it definitely worked. Here, I mean, I have Instagram. I use it. People can see what I look like. I've gone to Twitch. I hug James, so he knows what I look like. But it's not really a secret. It's just...
Wait, you mean you're not literally a cow person with swinging udders?
Nope, not at all. There's no swinging of any kind of udders.
I gotta use my brain for that?
Yeah, gotta use your brain.
All right. Yeah, no, I that's true. I never really thought of it that way. I think for me using a camera is almost kind of lazy. It's just like, because then like even when I'm not
the content.
Well, even when I'm not talking, I'm still there. So I like without a camera, I feel like if you're not talking for long enough, people might be like, is she there? Like you kind of have to engage more vocally.
And I do because of that. So I'm constantly talking. So that's why a lot of times I don't do very many coach streams because I can't shut up because I've got to talk to them all the time because they can't see me. So I'm constantly talking. And I might do, a stream one day with my cam. It just would be on my terms, and it would be, something I'd have to prepare for. Because most of the time, I wake up, 10 minutes later, I'm streaming. Unless it's like a night stream. So it had to be a time when it's a night stream where I have to wake up, do my hair, do my makeup, and come to terms with that eyeball.
Yeah, there is an advantage to that too. Like I'm always like, oh, do I need to do my hair? Like I don't know if you noticed, Angel, but like when we were on the video chat before I started the stream, my hair is usually like undone. I just got home from work and I'm like trying to set everything up, and then like I start the stream, and during that 10-minute countdown I go and like do my hair and like get all ready and then come back. So
right.
I envy you for who knows, you could just be sitting there in your pajamas eating ice cream and it doesn't matter. That's awesome. So maybe I should turn my camera off. You're almost convincing me.
Yeah, every once in a while.
For some guys, it does work, but I would say it would depend on your audience, honestly, and your voice and what kind of people you have in your audience. Because most of the time, people want a video. They want to see. They want to stare at your face and look at your expressions. So unless you're very expressive with your voice, might not work.
Yeah, we can't deprive the world of this face, right?
Right. Plus, you've got a beard, so literally, it's going to carry you through Twitch.
Yeah, that's true.
It will.
All right.
Sorry, James.
I've tried growing a beard.
No,
He's seen it.
It was pretty good, man. Don't. It took a while, but you had something going on there. It's.
I'll try again next November.
Yeah, once a year, we'll see how much further you can get. But
there's another advantage to that too. You can just be good looking. So either be good looking.
That's true.
Yeah, look at James is a handsome young man.
Yes, he is.
I would. I'd take him to dinner. I think I did take him to dinner.
Oh, we did. We got pizza. Oh, those pizza slices. Oh, those are great. I should have ate more pizza that night.
Yeah. No, that whole trip was awesome. But I'm bummed. I think it was like right before I met you, Angel. Otherwise, you said you were at TwitchCon. You met James, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
outside the con, I think, right?
Yes, because I was it was the third day, I think, and I'm just like walking around the convention. I've already done everything. You could do everything in like the first day. So I'm just walking around. I'm scrolling through Twitter, and I saw your post. It was like, if you want to come see me, I'll be outside, like right outside the entrance. And I saw it. It was like 5 minutes ago, and I was like, perfect. I'm not doing anything right now, and she's like right outside. So I just walked out, and I was like, I don't know what she looks like.
That's true.
I do advertise my Instagram pretty hardcore, but I mean, people forget, so yeah.
Yeah, the way I found you, it's because you put on the Twitter post wearing your TARDIS dress. So I'm looking for a Whovian nerd.
Yeah. I
Nice.
figured that would be a good way. The girl wearing the TARDIS dress. So.
A moment ago in the Twitch chat, Just Frosty said, but did James put out? And to that question, I will say, sir, what happens at Twitch stays at Twitch.
Yes, it does. Don't ask questions about TwitchCon.
If you want to know, you better go next year, sir.
Yeah.
There's a rumor that it was going to be in Vegas next year.
Ooh.
You know, there was a rumor last year that it wasn't going to be in California, but guess where it was? Again, in California.
I mean, I'm not complaining. That's fine with me.
It's fine with me too, but I live in Florida, so that's a very long flight, and I like California. Like, I actually really loved San Diego a lot, but what would be cool is to go other places.
No,
or to
I agree.
Maybe middle-ish, so that people who can't get those funds to be able to go would have the opportunity to be able to go.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think, we've had this conversation before, but I think eventually it's going to get big enough where they're going to have multiple regions like PAX does.
I thought this last one was giant. The lines.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Day one.
2 lines.
Possible.
Yes. I'm so glad I went and got my stuff early. The 2 lines double wrapped around the block. That was insane and not safe for people. So they will probably have to do like an east and west.
At least, yeah. Well, when is that European one? Did that happen, or it's happening soon? Or did they announce that they were doing another one this year in like somewhere in Europe?
Isn't it March or April?
Yeah, it's coming up in a few months.
March, maybe.
Maybe.
So I think it's just a matter of like, they're at the point now where they're going to have to say, oh, we better break this up because Twitch is continuing to grow. So.
Plus, it's extremely expensive for the people that are coming, from over there. That's insane.
Yeah, if they did a Twitch East, it would give me an excuse to get out there. I think the furthest east I've been is like Illinois, and then I went to Tennessee. So that's about as far as I've been. I've never been to the East Coast. So maybe if they did a TwitchCon over there somewhere, it'd give me an excuse.
San Diego was the first time I'd gone to California. I'm glad that was the first one because it was gorgeous. That's my favorite. Of San Jose, Long Beach, and San Diego. San Diego was hands down the best.
Yeah, I think the only thing higher on my list than San Diego for California, as far as places where I would like retire or live, I love San Diego. Lady Navio and I both love San Diego. Probably Santa Barbara. If you've never been to Santa Barbara, that I definitely recommend that. It's beautiful. Everything about it I love, but it's definitely on the more expensive end of the spectrum. It makes
me wonder why they chose Long Beach, because from my own experience in Long Beach, it's not exactly the greatest area.
That was the dirtiest con. I have to say, that was the dirtiest city. It was not prepared for the people. Every place you went to was booked. It was awful.
Yeah, I remember people were telling me they were going. I didn't go because I didn't have the funds at the time. But they were like, oh yeah, it's going to be in Long Beach. And I was like, really? Long Beach? I looked up where the con was and I was like, that's like a block away from the really shady area of Long Beach.
Oh man.
Like you go down the wrong street, you might not be coming back.
First day I was there, I go down the stairs or up the stairs to try to get to the con, and there's this homeless village living on the stairs, and that headwear, they've been using it as a potty, and I almost lost my mind because I'm wearing, high heels, and I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna die of some sort of, nasty. It was horrible. It was horrible. That was a bad choice on their part.
It's just the stair people. Come on.
It was really
Just the stair
scary.
people.
Then I didn't want to go down those stairs. It's the stairs right in front of the convention too. And I'm like, oh, that's just horrid. Like, I'll just take the long way next time.
Yeah. No, San Jose, I think, was a pretty cool location. I like the convention center there, and there's a lot of stuff to do around there. Good culture and music, and I mostly just had fun getting drunk and riding scooters all over downtown.
Scooters.
Oh my god!
I love the scooters. I probably spent like $90 on the scooters.
Really?
Where did you like look for excuses to be like, hey, do we need to go somewhere? No? Well,
I was.
Are you sure? Well, maybe we need to go over there. I better get a scooter.
Well, it's too far away. That's very long 2 blocks.
It's like a 2-minute walk. We could get there in like a minute on the scooter.
It takes you like 2 minutes just to like scan it with your phone. You could have been
Guys,
there.
don't worry about it. I'll meet you there once I find a scooter. Just start walking.
Yeah.
And they are there because it took you so long to scan. Yeah, it was a nice place. They weren't prepared for the number of people that were going to be going.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like the partner party, this was my first year being partnered. I didn't get to go because they didn't have room. So a whole bunch of us stood outside not being able to get into the partner party.
Yeah, they major dropped the ball on the partner party thing. They had to know. I mean, numbers wise, just pure numbers wise, if you're letting partners all show, like if depending on how many show up, first of all, you can't really anticipate that. Plus allowing like and one.
+1.
Yeah,
they
like
all had +1. Yeah, so
come on. You had to know that place was going to get packed.
it was, and a lot of people never made it. So
That
that
sucks.
was unfortunate.
Yeah, I have some friends that were actually thinking like not even buying a ticket to next year's TwitchCon, but just going because it's going to be so huge. Like the lines are going to be insane. So you could just hang out with the people anyway and not have to spend the money to go into the convention.
I've had people say that they're just going to wait outside and meet all the people they want to meet. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Uncle Joe did that by accident.
That is
Yeah.
true.
A guy that ended up staying with us planned on buying a ticket while he was there, and they sold out.
Oh no.
And he flew like across the country.
No, they drove.
Oh, they drove
drove
across
from
the
Chicago.
country. Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's a sad tale of Uncle Joe.
He
But
took a chance.
he should have always buy ahead of time. That's the
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
even if I think it was like, wasn't that the first time it ever like completely sold out like that?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. They had way too many people. They just couldn't accommodate it. So, and then they were also trying to be safe after, the Jacksonville thing. They were trying to have a lot more security. So they were, at the first day, at least, very diligent about security. The second and third day, a little less because they couldn't get everybody inside and people were waiting. So they had a lot of things that kind of fell by the way because they weren't expecting as many people, I guess, to come. But numbers wise, if you have these many people, you should probably expect them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But
I'll still be there regardless next year.
yeah.
It's so much fun.
So I guess the next question is, if they start having multiple cons, are you going to go to all of them?
I don't know.
You might have
a
to
lot.
make a decision at that point.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like this year, I'm going to PAX East. That'll be my very first PAX I've ever gone to. And I plan to go to TwitchCon. But if they do next year a couple of TwitchCons, I kind of want to because it's a great experience. And I love going, and visiting different places. But money-wise, that might not be feasible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So as far as your Twitch career, do you have are you pretty comfortable where you're at now? Do you have like any big plans for the future? Is there anything that like you're looking at what's next, or are you following any of this, like all the Twitch drama and like policy changes? Like what do you where are you at in your Twitch career?
Right now, well, this year, well, last year, I guess now, my big thing was to get partnered. I achieved it finally after a very long time. I achieved it. So
Mhm.
that was my big giant hurdle. I'm always looking at, growing, of course, but the right kind of growth is what I focus on. I want people that are part of the community that are not toxic, that are positive, that will be basically, part of the family,
Right.
like not toxicity and bad people or a reason to be a mean troll. Like, trolling lightly and stuff is fine, but when you're getting to the point where you're just being bullying, like I don't like that kind of stuff. So I usually tend to focus a little slower on the growth because I am very particular about what I want for my channel. As far as growth wise, uh, as long as I'm having fun and I'm paying my bills, I'm pretty happy. And those two are happening. So I will continue to, do like I always do every week. This is a job. It's a fun job, but it's still a job. But
Mhm.
I like where I'm at. And I usually try to avoid all the Twitter drama.
Yeah.
But that being said, I'm seeing some stuff and I'm like, yikes.
Yeah.
Like, does that really happen in places? But yeah, it does.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you have a daughter.
Mhm.
How old is she now?
She's 12. She lives with her dad during the week, and on the weekends I get her. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
So does she have any idea at all what you do? The whole Twitch
She
thing?
does. Yeah, she's joined me. She, not that often because, well, I am a lewd channel and I'm usually streaming during the week, but I have done special streams with her there. That I'll dial it back a bit and not be as lewd,
Mhm.
and she'll join me, and she thinks it's really cool.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
My mom's a pro gamer.
Yeah, she's all like, "Wow, the Twitch people really love you. That's
Mhm.
great."
So you mostly stream during the week then?
I stream Sunday and Wednesday nights and Monday and Tuesday, Thursday afternoons, but I do a lot of extra hours. So usually on Fridays, I'll do a bonus stream. Occasionally, I'll do a Saturday, but that's very rare. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Man, that's a lot of streaming.
Mhm.
it is, but I have a lot of fun at it. So as long as I'm not too busy, like this month, I'm kind of busy.
Yeah.
I have my best friend's wedding that I'm the maid of honor for coming up February 2nd. So this month I'm specifically busy, so I can't do like a lot of long, crazy streams like I normally do. But yeah, as long as I'm having fun and I'm cool with staying on.
So as far as like the type of stuff you're into, you said I'm a huge geek. I love Star Wars, Firefly, Serenity, Doctor Who, Deadpool, Harry Potter, and all things superhero related. Um, as far as games, do you where you said you played WoW, obviously, and I noticed when I was watching you, you were playing
Dead by Daylight.
Dead by
Yes.
Daylight.
Mhm.
And so do you? And you also mentioned when you first started watching Twitch that you thought watching the guy playing the horror game and screaming was really funny. Is that has kind of like the horror genre been something that's been interesting to you for a long time now, or
Well, what I do is variety, mainly because I can't stick with any one game for
same?
very long. I'll get bored, and if I'm bored, you're going to be bored. So,
Right.
um, the horror thing, I actually have a guilty pleasure of loving them a lot. So that just reminded me I need to turn an alert off just in case anybody's like, "Oh, hey, let me scare you," because I always have those scares on.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I actually love playing them, but only when they have really good stories.
Mhm.
But I am a variety streamer, so I play whatever I find interesting, which a lot of times is survival type things, Dead by Daylight. I've played a lot of Darkest Dungeon. Just whatever takes my fancy.
So how did you find Minion Masters?
That one, I don't even remember how I got it. Probably because people gift me a lot of games a lot of times. So someone must have gifted it to me, but I had never downloaded it. And then I had one of the someone who was trying to be a dev, Trinity, reached out to me from, I believe, Flaming Monocle Discord, and was like, hey, I'm trying to become a dev for them. So I was curious. I'm taking a chance to see if maybe you'd like to play this game and help me get the word out. And I'm like, you know what? It looks really cool. Sure. Because I won't play something if I don't think it looks good.
Yeah.
But I thought it looked really cool. I liked,
we try it.
right? But all the little minions are so cute, and they did little things, and there was all that, and then there was the cheeky little announcer, and like, that's fantastic. I loved it. So
it has a lot of character for sure.
Yeah. So honestly, it was Trinity reaching out to me to say, hey, I'd like to see if you do this, and if you do, I've got some keys to give out for people. So I was like, sure, I'll do it. And then it turned out I really liked it a lot. It was a lot of fun.
Very cool. Yeah, that's how
Trinity is a dev.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah,
nice.
It worked.
I know that because the reason I asked that is because, a lot of people who are here from my community are familiar with, like, I play that game, Nuclear Goo, Frost. That's how I met James. So, I have a lot of connections through Minion Masters, and I've turned quite a few people onto it. And I personally don't even play it as much as I used to, but I remember, I think that's how I discovered you, is every once in a while I'll go on the Minion Masters section of Twitch, just like browse who's on there. And I saw your name. I was like, NakedAngel with 100 viewers playing Minion Masters. I was like, who is this? So I clicked on it to see what it was all about. And I was like, oh, she's actually like really entertaining. So I asked James about you, and he's like, oh yeah, he had already obviously knew who you were, and so we got to talking about it, and I was like, we should try and have her on sometime.
Oh,
and I appreciate that you're kind of it feels like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like the way you are about games, where you're like, let me check it out and see if it's something I'm interested in before I just like agree to play it.
Yes.
You kind of, I appreciate that, because you did the same thing with the podcast. When I messaged you, rather than just being like, who the hell are you, go away, or being like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like, you were like, you know what? Let me take a look at your content, see if I like it, and I'll get back to you. Like, you responded, and you're respectful, and you're like, let me take a look, and yeah, sure. If it's something I'm interested in, I'll get down to be on a podcast. So like, the fact that you were like thoughtful about it is says a lot about you.
Well, for me, I take integrity pretty, it's pretty important for me. So one thing people don't realize, when I got partnered, it did take a very long time. Some people are like, wow, you're partnered with no cam? Wow, you must be magic. No, it took a very long time.
Yeah,
it was hard work and dedication.
It didn't have to. It didn't have to take as long as it did, because I chose the hard way to do it on purpose. I did no cam, I did variety and a split shift, and I did it my way and grew until that. So if I don't believe in something, like, people are like, just turn your camera on, or just play League of Legends for like a month and you're good, man. You're good partnered, right? So play like one game, and then you can pretend to be this, and then later you can change it. But for me, I like to like what I'm doing and believe in what I'm doing. So whenever, Trinity messaged me about Minion Masters, I'm like, I'm going to check it out first. Let me check it out. If I like it, then I'll do it. But I'm not just going to play it just because you want me to. So I'm not going to promote something if I don't think it's good. And I thought you guys were really funny. So.
Yeah. Well, no, thank you. I appreciate that. I kind of had the same experience with some people, because like when I first started streaming with Minion Masters right when it like was starting to kind of gain a little bit of momentum. And they had this like little website where they were trying, as people watched it and streamed it, they did like key giveaways for the game and all this stuff. And
yeah,
so
like the community level thing.
Yeah, the community leveling thing, and the key, like the watch and wins used to be for keys for the game. So, there was a little bit more incentive there. So I built a pretty solid audience fairly quickly playing Minion Masters. And then I'd like play something else, and I had people private message me, and they're like, dude, all you got to do is keep playing Minion Masters, and you'll like you could be partnered. Like just play Minion Masters more. Like I occasionally people are still like, hey, you should play Minion Masters more, and I'm just like,
Right.
I don't want to. Like sure I could probably
500 hours in that game.
Yeah.
And there are people that can do that. There are people who can say, you know what, fine, I'll play this one game every day, and I'm going to lose my mind, and I'm going to hate that game by the time it's done, but I'm going to play that game, and then I'll get partnered. You know what happens? They get burnt out.
Right.
And what happens at the end of that, they either take a very long break or they try a different game. And because they are actually then
they're locked in.
That specific person who plays only that specific game, they lose their community completely and they have to start over and they get discouraged. Whereas if you don't and you stick it, like, and if that's what you like, then do it. Hey, it was really hard, so I don't fault anybody who wants to do that. But if you are variety, at least they'll know that you're going to play whatever you want.
Yeah, it's kind of
people more attracted to you rather than the game.
That's what I like to. I like to try to attract people to, the channel, to my community and the chat, and not necessarily the game.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, because, if you build it that way, then it kind of gives you like you said, you have that integrity, and it's like people know what they're going to get when they come to your channel. I think for me, podcasting was always like a long-term goal for me. I love streaming, and I'll still stream games on Twitch and everything, but like this right here, what we're doing has always been like a long-term passion of mine, like a goal, like one day I want to have a podcast. And I was like, you know what? There's not a lot of people, like there are a few podcasts on Twitch with this type of format, but like I wanted to shine a light on Twitch and the people doing it. And so like most of the podcasts that I watched were like a preset like group of people, like friends that always the same people every week. And I was like, wouldn't it be cool if we just brought on people from Twitch? Like everyone has a story to tell. Everyone's here for a reason. And so for me, I've gotten criticized by people like, from my community who are like, you should play Minion Masters. What happened to Shotgun Wednesday? What happened to this game you don't play anymore? And I'm just like, dude, like like you said, if that's all I did, like I'd shoot myself in the face.
Right.
Like I love the social aspect of Twitch, and I love talking to people and getting to know people. So like, I hope that some of those people realize that the podcast is a cool thing, and they should.
They'll understand, Jimmy.
Yeah, I think that when you put it out there that that's what you like to do, people are going to be there for you in your content. And if they're not, then I'm very honest with my community. I'm like, guys, I want to play this. So like right now, Batman Arkham Asylum, that's all I'm about. And I want to play Dead by Daylight, but sometimes I want to be the knight.
Right.
I am the knight, and I just want to play it. So if they like you and they like your content, they will support you. Or they can go, support another streamer until they see you doing something they like.
They can go eat a butt. That's what your nice sentence really said behind it.
Yeah, I don't normally say but. It's usually a lot more explicit, but yes.
They can go eat a musty anus.
There you go.
Is that better?
Yeah, I usually go with dick.
Ooh.
Dick, but yeah.
Yeah, there was a guy, the screen name. What was it? Musty...
yeah, musty nipples.
Musty nipples. Yeah, I was lurking in her channel today, and someone showed up with the screen name Musty Nipples.
I couldn't even get behind that. I'm like, oh, that's uncomfortable, man. You need lotion. Yeeks.
I love it.
A musty nipple.
Yeah. So we have a few kind of quick fire questions that we like to ask all of our guests.
Okay.
So I'm going to pull those up real quick, if I can remember how to get there. It's on my shared drive here.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun,
Just don't let it be algebra. I'm not really great.
No, they're fun
Quick
questions. What is the average speed of a purebred sparrow, or what is that question?
Every
From
single
Monty
time I
Python?
do those, Q&A, someone always asks me some really big thing. I'm like, guys, I stream for a living. I'm an entertainer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know the answer to that question.
Quick maths.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get to the list here. What is your favorite curse word?
Fuck.
Yep. That's
Big
a
one.
Solid.
that's a
10 out of 10.
That's a solid
Yep.
favorite. Okay, and then I added a follow up to this one. Besides the sinful seven, the standard cuss words, are there any that are just like maybe a funny one or a phrase or like for example, last week Merlin Temple, the example she had was douche canoe, which was awesome. Is it is there any funny ones like just crude or crass like curse
I
words
go
or
with
phrase?
douche cookie. I actually use douche too, and it's douche cookie.
Oh, there you go. That's an image.
It's a cookie you don't want. No one wants that cookie. Cookies are great, except if they're a douche cookie.
Yeah, anything with douche. I think
And a lot more cruder is the one that I tend to use, dick cheese.
Ooh.
It's pretty gross, but if I call you that, you're really bad. You're a bad guy.
You want to the worst combination of words. I don't think I've ever said this on stream. My best friend that I grew up with, who will be the best man at my wedding. So the thing that he would say, he said it since we were probably in like 6th grade. It was pus infected cum bubble.
Oh, I did not know. I put an image in my mind that I did not want.
I could write that down. That's good. Oh my gravy. That's very descriptive.
So, sorry. Shout out to him. Maybe one of these days I'll get him on the podcast. He's a crazy busy guy, though. Let's see. What sound or noise do you love, or what sound or noise brings back a memory or takes you back to a childhood moment in time? Or
sound or noise I love. I like people with grumbly, deep voices. Really like that, like a lot. And that's with girls too. Like deeper voices are the ones I tend to gravitate towards. Sounds of storms. I really love storms. I love the way they sounds. It's very seductive and not in a sexy way, but more, like a relaxing, wonderful way.
That rumbly, just kind of like, yeah.
The impending storm.
Plus, like combined with like the way the clouds kind of just muffle everything, and it feels, I totally can get behind that one. What about sound or noise that triggers you in a more negative way, like nails on a chalkboard?
Literally nails on a chalkboard. That's one.
Yeah.
Like I can't listen to that.
Yep.
High pitched noises actually hurt my ears. Like super high pitch, really, really high pitch, hurt my ears. I can't listen to that. I don't know why. Just can't. And if someone's constantly tapping, like if they're just like tap, tap, tap,
No.
and the tap doesn't stop and the tap keeps going, I'm like, okay, can you stop? Just stop. Stop before I beat you with whatever that is. Stop with the pencil.
Like the guy studying in the library, just tapping.
Tap, 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 tap. It feels like it's pounding into my head. Tap, tap, tap.
We may not be able to hang out. I'm pretty guilty of. I'm a drummer, like, and so I'm super fidgety, and I tap on everything.
But if you're tapping to a rhythm, that's different. But
That's
if
true.
you're just tap, 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 like that isn't a rhythm. That's madness. That's what that is.
Like the water dripping in the sink.
Yes, I don't like that. I'll go put something around it.
This one I don't ask as often, but I'm curious in your situation. Outside of what you've already done, if you could wake up one day and just be like a profession, just everything about it, you're a professional and that's your career. Is there anything besides streaming or voice work that you would do?
Well, the voice actor was my next one after a streamer. Psychologist. Oddly enough. Yeah.
Have you ever tried to pursue it at all?
Nope, because it's very expensive. And then I realized that sometimes people are going to tell you things that are going to make you very sad. And you can't forget those things. So once I did the phone sex thing, people also there's a dark side of that. So people had very scary stories to tell me as well. And then I'm just realizing that maybe that's not the best thing to do all the time, maybe on a part-time basis. So really, if I could, voice acting. Or just being incredibly rich and, traveling. That would be good.
Now that's
not
a
a job, but
profession
it
you
would
can
be
get behind.
wonderful. Right?
What do you do for a living? Oh, I'm rich.
I'm rich. I'm like Batman, only I don't have all those cool toys.
Yeah. James, do you have the list up? Is there any questions on there you want to?
I do have the list up. But see, it's weird, right? She doesn't stream with the cam, so you could never judge if the desk is dirty, which
true.
leads to the question: desk, room, car. Which do you clean first?
Desk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't normally dirty my car because I don't go out a whole lot. So I usually keep my bedroom pretty clean. So desk would have to be it because I usually keep this thing messy. So I have to clean it often.
So your desk is messy?
Yes.
Fairly often?
Usually from papers and, stuff. But it usually is kind of messy. But I try to clean it, every few days and put stuff away.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because it's something no one will ever see but yourself.
My desk?
Yeah.
Well, not on stream anyway.
Yeah, on stream, yeah.
Yeah,
so it's
true.
like me, the camera, if I have too much stuff on my desk, it starts to clutter up.
Right.
You can actually see it.
Oh,
the other day, I moved and you could hear cans fall over and I was like, I need to throw them out.
The stack of Mountain Dew cans and empty Dorito bags.
Yeah,
no, they are half lemonade, half tea. Excuse me, sir. $1 Arizona cans.
Oh, those are pretty good. I'll let you have that. That's true.
I see them in the store. I can't say no to them.
That's funny.
You do have a cat cam though, so I guess
I do. I introduced that last year. When they are in the mood to be on cam, then they're on cam, or I'll turn it and find where they're at. But yeah, I use my cat cam.
What are you not very good at?
Not very good at lying.
Ooh.
Bad at lying.
Yeah.
So usually, I'm going to tell myself here. Usually, if someone says something and I don't like it, you can tell I don't like it on stream, even if you don't see my face, because I get called. Like someone will say something, I'm like, huh, you said that, huh? Well, how about that? And I won't reply.
You have that phrase. Well, how about that one?
How about that? It's a good thing sometimes I think that my camera's not on because you'd probably see me looking at you like, seriously, fucker? What the fuck are you doing? Why are you doing that? But I can't lie. I'm pretty open. And I can't draw words at all.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
My stick figures make fun of each other. I can draw by MS Paint. I can draw by shape. So if I can draw it by a shape, I can do it. Otherwise, I can't draw to save my life.
Yeah, I'm right there. I mean, digital stuff is, when I have tools to help me, I can Photoshop. But that's like if you hand me a piece of paper and a pencil and tell me to draw something, I will.
Oh, I can do my promos and stuff. Like when there's prepared pictures, I can line them up and make them look real good. But
you
actually,
could do design.
Right, I can design all day.
Yeah.
Desktop publishing type stuff, sure, no problem. But actually drawing, oh no, can't do that.
Just draw a straight line. I'm sorry, I can't do that.
It's not gonna be straight.
Nope.
It's gonna be curved.
Yep. Even my handwriting is terrible. I in high school realized that it wasn't going to get any better, and I was like, all right, that's it. I'm writing in all caps from here on out. I'm one of those guys. I write in all caps because it's the only way it's legible.
That's funny.
So, Naked Angel, since you've got me so interested in the world of phone sex operators, I'm thinking about starting a career in phone sex operation. So could you give me the 3 do's and don'ts? I'm green. You have years of experience.
Okay.
What are the 3 do's and don'ts as a someone just going into that industry?
Do have a mute button.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Do act like everything they say is something you do every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. and don't be a guy.
Oh, damn it.
The reason is men are more likely to spend money on sex than women are.
That's
Men
true.
Who are women are not. If women want to talk to a guy, they can be like, "Hey, would you talk to me?" And they'd be like, I'll talk to you right now, for real. Like, just here for free. But if a guy wants to talk to another guy, usually he's going to go out and go talk to a guy, like in a club or a bar or whatever. It's a very, not that they don't make money, guys do. It's just a significantly less than women. I'm sorry, Jimmy.
I'm with nuclear goo on this one. Way to crush our dreams.
I'm so sorry. But hey, if you're good at talking to guys, you can make some money.
Hey, what's up, bro?
Did you just watch the game last night? I got a 6-pack of coolers. You ready?
Okay, I'll ask you this then. Can you moo?
Ooh.
On demand.
You can make me blush.
Could make you. I'm sure I could make you blush.
Can I moo on command? Like realistic or just like moo, 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 moo?
Like the guy wants you to talk about it and you got to actually act like you are moaning in the form of moo.
Ooh. For enough money, I could. Absolutely.
Yeah.
For enough money, I'll do anything probably.
There you go. Got to do it without laughing though.
Ooh, see, that's where I'm a very
That's
like
deal breaker.
I laugh at all my own jokes along with everyone else's. I'm just a very laughy person.
That might not be good unless they want you to laugh at them, and then it would be good. But if they don't, not a good thing.
Maybe that'll be my niche. Maybe I'll just be the laughing guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I said do have a mute button, that's when you laugh. When you hit mute.
What about are there any other don'ts?
Don't have your significant other talking in the room next to you. That would be bad. Because they're supposed to think you're available. You know, hey. Or, hey, I thought you were single. I had thoughts of getting with you and you're married.
Yeah. Ruin the fantasy, probably.
It's just like Twitch chat. The streamer I'm tier 3 sub to has a significant other. Can't come back here.
You know, there's a lot of people who think that. And there's a lot of streamers that actually follow through that. I don't, because, I mean, people get me 100% or you don't get me at all. But there's a lot of people that do that. They won't talk about any of their personal stuff just so that they can get more people to like them when they think they're available.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's true. That's not exclusive to Twitch though, or to any industry. Like, there's a lot of like pop stars who try and keep their relationship secret because it's like a part of their image.
But see, for others, it doesn't matter. Like Jason Momoa. Oh, I like him a lot. I know he's got a person. Don't care. I can still look at that rapper all day long.
No, I'm more talking about like a lot of the like teen idols or young actors and stuff. Like,
oh yeah,
you know, like there's that idea that, you know, the Justin Biebers of the world. It's like, yeah, if they find out that they have a girlfriend or whatever, then they're, you know, well, my heart's broken. I think that's
a teenage mentality,
right?
So,
but I'm just saying it does exist across various industries. The idea of like, hey, you know, whether or not I have a significant other could affect my image. So
very true.
It is what it is. Well, thank you. I think I have everything I need now to start my career. I'll keep you guys posted on that.
I wish you the very best. And if you ever get confused and say, hey, I don't know what this is, just message me. I'll explain it because I know what everything is now. All the things, the unexplainable things, I can teach you.
Yeah. You should. How many of them have you added to Urban Dictionary?
None. But I remember being shocked a few times because I didn't understand a word. I'm like, what's that? Oh my God. After looking it up. Shouldn't have Googled. Google is bad.
Man, now,
there are times when
now
Google
I'm curious. You should have a channel in your Discord where you just give definitions of all the words you didn't know.
You know, I do an Angel After Dark for subscribers once a month, and those are the times that they ask me questions like that.
That's awesome.
Because they want to find out about what the heck I've been talking about. That's so strange. So.
All right. Well, James, unless you have any other questions, I think we're almost ready to take a short break. Before we did, though, sometimes depending on what we can find, I found a couple pretty fun clips of you that I thought would be fun to play on the podcast.
Oh boy.
They had me laughing. Oh, that's not the right screen. Let me get rid of that. That's after the break. Yeah, I looked at your top clips. And yeah, maybe adjust your volume slightly. Rip headphones in advance. I'll warn you.
Yeah.
This one can be quite loud.
They're
really loud.
It's so good though. I think I already have it turned down. I'll adjust as needed. But this was a really great clip. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna watch a couple clips of Angel, and then we're going to take a short break, like 3 to 5 minutes. And when we come back, we have a crowd favorite segment of the podcast called Chief's Beef. He's got a fresh one for us, and we're going to do that. And then we'll maybe talk about a couple things and call it a night. So let's check out these clips.
Black down here. Everything's gotta be fucking black down here. No! I'm out of battery! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh
Just
my
that-
god!
that visceral
oh my god, I'm out of battery!
scream.
I'm out of battery! I'm
It's
out
so
of battery!
good.
I was really scared.
That was that was a legitimate, like, terrified scream. That was not that you were not hamming it up at all there.
No, it was really
You thought you were going to die.
Yep.
Have you thought about playing Subnautica in VR?
No, that would kill me. Are you crazy? No, never.
That's like that. Subnautica is like the latest game I've been playing, and it's so fun. But the fact that happens, it's keeping me from progressing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty intense. And then I thought this one just because it was hilarious. So what game is this, by the way? This is Nekopara Volume 3.
Those are the ones I did voices for.
I got a kick out of how much fun you had during this scene. It was good. So I'll play that.
Hang on.
Plot.
Yeah, plot's huge.
Well, and literally you hit the P button cowboy to do that.
Oh, you hit the P button.
Okay, so when you hear me say P for plot, that's what I'm talking about.
That's perfect.
Like that at the end, you're like, boing, boing. That's pretty good. I love it. So yeah, that's what you can expect if you head on over to twitch.tv/NakedAngel. All the good content.
Visceral screaming and a ton of plot.
Yeah.
Tons of plot.
Well, thank you again so much for taking the time out of your Tuesday night to come on the show. We're going to take a short break, like I mentioned, and we'll be back in a few minutes to do some Chief's Beef. So I hope you're all ready. I am back. Bring them on here in a second. I just wanted to remind everyone that the show is usually on Wednesday nights. We made an exception tonight because we really wanted to have Naked Angel on as a guest. But if you want to check out the other podcasts, we also have a website at hitthebucket.com. It's that easy. www.hitthebucket.com. If you go to the website and you look on the right side, there's a list of links for, if you want to watch it on YouTube or iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, all that stuff. It's on hitthebucket.com. Go check it out. And then it also has links for all of us, for myself, for James, my co-host, for Meshyf, the man who makes the beef. So all those links are available over at hitthebucket.com if you want to check out more of our content. I'd really appreciate it. So for those who don't know, this segment of the show is called Chief's Beef. It's where our good friend, Mr. Meshyf, over at twitch.tv/Meshyf, he is a angry old man at heart, and he doesn't like people on his lawn, and he also doesn't like lots of other things, and he likes to tell us about it. So he's going to give us 2 topics that he's just not happy about this week, and we get to debate which one is the bigger beef. meaning which one is more irritating or more of a problem to society. So we're going to watch this video and we're going to talk about it. So if you guys are ready, we'll all hit play at the same time. None of us have watched this yet, so we're all watching it together for the first time. So we usually do it on go. I'll say 1, 2, 3, go, and then we'll start playing. You guys ready?
Mhm.
Yep.
Cool. 1, 2, 3, go.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Chiefs Beef!
Welcome, everyone, to the ring. I'm your host, Meshyf, bringing you this week's biggest beef of the week. We got 2 contenders that are going to go head-to-head, and let's find out what the first one is, and it is discussing religion at work. Do you want to see Meshyf do a 180 and run the other direction?
Yeah.
Well, let's start talking about religion at work because that's the easiest way to do it. This is a lose-lose scenario. You're not going to change my mind. I'm not going to change your mind. Everyone's just going to get upset in the middle of it. Let's avoid this at all costs. Now, I work front-facing with customers, and sometimes they want to bring it up, and I have to kind of do my little dance around it, right? Because I can't just walk away. But I had this one guy recently. He didn't invite me to his church, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And the first time, it's like, okay, cool. I appreciate the invitation. That's really nice of you to invite me. It's cool. I'm going to have to decline, though, because, whatever reason I want to give. And what does he do? He throws out one more invitation. And then the third invitation was a business card with a number on the back that said, "We will pick you up." And he said, "I expect you to be there on Sunday."
Oh.
What?
Damn, this shit is getting pushy now. I am having a hard time discussing this with this guy at work, basically saying, like, it's not going to happen, bud. See you later. Bye. Now, it's awkward for me because he's putting me in that position and on the spot, and I don't want to make it a condition of the sale or a condition of my employment, my beliefs, right? So I try and keep them out as much as possible. And it's awkward for him because he's getting shot down for me to go to his church in front of his friends, which that's embarrassing for him too, right? Like, knock it off. Don't do
Yeah,
that
that's
shit.
terrible.
Discussing
Yeah.
religion at work, you're the first beef of the week. Second beef is
Ugh.
discussing politics.
Oh, come
I live
on.
in a little red pocket of California, and California, as you know, is very Democratic, but this little red pocket of Republicans in California, man, sometimes you think that is licensed to say or do whatever the hell you want, and sometimes it crosses the line. One time I had someone tell me, and this is another customer story, I had a customer tell me, that Obama should be 6 feet under, and I'm going to put him there. And I had to
What?
completely stand up,
Wow.
say thank you for coming in and visiting, but we won't be selling you a car today, and walk him out the door. Because when you start getting violent or just mean or nasty, and believe me, that was the PG version of what he said. I'm not going to repeat what he said to me. We're done, right? Discussing politics at work is another one of those things. And that you're not going to change someone's mind on. And it's really hard when someone brings it up because the natural inclination is to start talking about stuff, right? Like we're talking about this stuff here, but we're not at work. I mean, Jimmy is, but he likes discussing this stuff, so it's kind of on him. So discussing politics at work, you're the second beef of the week. Jimmy, James, chat,
Yeah, okay.
Naked Angel. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Which is worse, talking about religion at work or talking about politics at work? And at the end, I will tell you which of the two is the biggest beef of the week, because there is a right answer. Go ahead and stick around.
All right, I paused it at 3:35.
Yeah, 334.
Okay. That's a hard one because I don't actually let them talk about that in my channel at all.
Either of them?
Either, because I find religion, for me, people are going to be super passionate about that. Wars have been started over religion. So people are going to be insulted no matter what religion you are, because
yeah.
you're not the religion they are. And obviously you're bad because you're not their religion. And people don't have a solid head for politics or religion to be able to talk about it. Therefore, I don't let people talk about those things in my channel because 9 times out of 10, people cannot hold a responsible conversation. But if I've got to pick one, I'd say religion, because that's a very personal thing. Both are, but I'd say that one's probably a little more personal than politics.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Well,
Understandable.
yeah, that's a perfectly valid argument. What do you think, James?
Well, let's see. The only job I've ever had so far was working in a dish room, and it's already hell. I don't want to be told about how I'm going to hell. So I'm really good at veering conversations away from that with my coworkers because, it's boring. We're washing dishes. There's nothing to do. So they'll bring up politics or religion. And it's just like, dude, it's going to be another 6 hours in here. I don't want to hear this.
Yeah.
So I just like try to skirt it. Usually I'll just like put in my headphones. You're not supposed to wear headphones while you're in the dish room because it's a safety hazard.
Mm.
But I'd prefer that safety hazard over listening to this hazard over here. But just like, yeah, it's like you said, people are like, when they bring it up, they already have an idea of what they want to say to you, and they're not really open to like actually listening to what you have to say back. So it's never really worth it.
Mm-mm.
So which one of the two?
If I had to choose more, I think religion, because politics, that changes, year to year, changes
Yeah.
with the president does.
Mhm.
But religion, it's been here for like thousands of years, and it's going to stay that way for a long time. So I think if I had to choose, religion at work is the bigger beef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to have to go against the grain again.
Oh.
So, religion versus politics at work. I would probably have to say politics, and I have more of a reason, not because politics is worse, but because I think religion. So you remember when David Bond was on, James, and we talked about how like he joked about, he's like, I love getting in debates with people at work because they can't leave. Like
Exactly.
Yeah, which obviously is not a good thing, but he's that type of person where he likes to just like make people uncomfortable. But because of the experiences that I had with him and my other friend that was here in chat, Morphe, I think is how you say his name, Morphi, those two, we did talk about religion quite a bit at work, but it was kind of the opposite where like they always wanted to talk to me about it because I was the religious one. I was raised Mormon, and there were times where I'm like, damn, I don't really want to talk about this. But a lot of the times I had mostly reasonable experiences with it. But I think the difference is that they were mature enough to have a healthy debate.
Mm-hmm.
They were open-minded enough to like listen to my side of it. And I think that's where a lot of it breaks down. Like you said, if you're dealing with, I think it depends on the person. If you're dealing with someone who's just trying to convert you and have you come to church and baptize you, then yeah, that sucks. And that's really annoying. And, I was a missionary, and looking back on it, I'm like, damn, dude, I can't believe I walked around and knocked on people's doors and tried to like convert them, like, and I would never do that at work just because it's not in my character. And usually people didn't know I was Mormon unless I told them, like I didn't wear it like on my sleeve. But for my friends that did know that I was Mormon, we were able to talk about it even at work without too much trouble. So maybe that's just, maybe I'm the exception. But in my case specifically, I actually appreciated them for that, because as I got older and I looked back on those conversations that I had with them with more mature eyes, I actually appreciated it, because like I was able to look back and be like, oh my God, he was right. Like, oh, what they were saying made sense. Like as I got older, those memories like actually helped me with my leaving the church, because of the way that they treated it and the way that they approached it and were willing to kind of like, well, have you ever thought about it this way? Like, so I guess it's kind of the opposite, but it's kind of, I don't know. I think in certain contexts there is room for it, but it has to be in a respectful way.
It might also be depending on where you work. Like if you're working with, like your experience with a few people who are open-minded and can hold a responsible conversation, sure. Or if you're doing my work where I'm in a room with 80 people
Yeah,
and God knows where they're going,
that's true.
it might not be. I don't know. That's a pretty good experience.
But
for you,
as far as politics goes, I've never had a good experience speaking to someone about politics. That because I'm a moderate and I'm willing to entertain people's ideas to an extent. Like I'll try my best to see it from their perspective, but there's just been too many times where it's like, you didn't vote for Trump, and it's just like immediately I'm, on the other end of a very, very long, thick wall that's never going to be breached. Like it's just immediately you're put in a category. And yeah, so as Meshyf mentioned, I'm from the same town that he currently lives in, and I know what he's talking about. And yeah, politics, it's always been a terrible experience anytime I've ever tried to talk politics. If I didn't agree with what it tended to happen more with the right. I agree with him, but I think that's just more the town that we were from. But there's stuff on the left that I definitely don't agree with either. And it's hard for me to have those conversations because I get put in a box and it's frustrating. So for me personally, I would have to say politics is the bigger beef. I've had more negative experiences trying to talk about politics than I have with religion. So, and I think Meshyf's probably going to say both. This might be one of those ones where he likes trying to fuck with us. And he says, you shouldn't do either of them.
Well, yeah, and I would agree because you shouldn't, and that's why I don't.
But if I had to choose, I'm going politics, and you guys both went religion, right?
Yes.
All right. So if you guys are ready, if you can queue up at 3:35.
Okay.
And we'll all hit play on go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Thank you, everyone, for your input. And now, to find out which is the biggest beef of the week, it is discussing religion at work.
I lose
This
again.
is the biggest lose. And it could
not
be
a new thing,
lose
Jimmy.
your fucking job. Now, I know there's plenty of religions out there that say, you got to go out and you got to save people and you got to bring them into the fold and you're doing good by them and you believe that you're doing good by them. By all means, do that good. Just don't do it at work. Don't do it at other places of business. Don't do it where you could get someone in trouble, either because, their religious beliefs don't line up with their employers and then their employers retaliate. Don't retaliate against customers or businesses don't have your beliefs. Just maybe don't shop there if you can avoid it. And by all means, if you want to go out and spread the good word, do it on everyone's free time. Please do not do this shit at work. It's cringy, it's awkward, and it's potentially dangerous. And that's why discussing religion at work, you're the biggest beef of the week.
There you go.
All right.
You've lost, Jimmy.
What is
The show is now mine.
I know. You can have it. You deserve it. So he said he actually bought a beef sweater. I wanted to bring this up because he made a good point. He was shopping around for beef sweaters on Amazon, and this is what started the ads that started showing up all over for him.
My goodness.
Good old cookies and targeted advertising. He's like, damn it, I bought a one printed beef sweater, and now the entire internet thinks I want these gnarly sweaters.
Well, you see, Jimmy, the data suggests that once you buy one, you're 67% more likely to purchase another one and then become a lifelong consumer of really bad sweaters.
Yeah. But that can't be true of all stuff, though, right? Like this, I think Frost posted this, and I thought it was really funny. It says, "Dear Amazon, I bought a toilet seat because I needed one. Necessity, not desire. I do not collect them. I am not a toilet seat addict. No matter how tempting no matter how temptingly you email me, I'm not going to think, oh, go on then, just one more toilet seat. I'll treat myself." Like, it's true though. There are certain things that you shop for and you buy it and then you don't need it anymore, but you still get like ads all over the place being like, "Hey." So
yeah, I have that
Like
going
the
on.
XLR cable I bought for the mic. It's like, do
Oh.
you need some more XLR cables?
Do you need a 50-foot XLR cable?
Exactly.
Mine is 80s stuff because I'm doing an 80s theme for my best friend's wedding. So
Mhm.
I'm going to be looking at 80s stuff forever now.
Yep. And dude, the worst one right now, the worst offender that's really kind of like irritating me is Steam, because
Yes.
I like peek at a game for a second, whether it's, you know, some anime, whatever, like, which I don't have anything against anime, but as you guys know, it's not like my primary like thing. But like I'll just click on a game and be like, oh, what's this? And then all of a sudden, for the next 2 weeks on Steam, it's like showing me nothing but like walls of anime games, and I'm like, no, I have zero desire to play any of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
You start clicking through the rabbit hole of anime weeb games, and now
Yeah.
you're stuck.
Yep. Well, and some of it's just like curiosity because of how like prevalent it's become. Like I'll look at some of it and be like, what is all this stuff? And then yeah, from that point on, I'm boned. All of my feeds are tailored to that stuff now, and I gotta like reprogram it,
Mhm.
retrain it.
Yeah, it's like on YouTube. You watch one ASMR video, and all of a sudden, that's all YouTube thinks you want to watch.
Yeah. You must love it.
Did somebody say
Oh, you want us to get really close to the mic?
it? Is this what we're doing? Are we all doing this now?
Oh, yeah. Sounds good.
Hey, my cat just walked by. Sammy, do you want to meow into the microphone? Come purr for us. Come here, kitty. By the way,
Just
your
have
black
Sammy
cat is
rub
very
yourself.
similar to mine, except yours is much fluffier. Mine's he's lean. He's got like a skinny tail. Come here, show the people. Don't knock my cup over. I'll punch you in the dick.
Abuse. POS.
I would never. He has knocked my blue cup over. The infamous blue cup has been knocked over multiple times. I should probably just stop using it while I'm streaming, but it's my fault for wanting a big tall cup. So yeah, R. Kelly's in the news again.
Mhm.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys heard, but apparently this documentary just came out. I haven't watched it yet, but it's basically exposing him for all the stuff that he had already been accused for and acquitted of in the past.
Oh.
I guess it's all more and more people have come forward, and they made a documentary about how R. Kelly's basically just like makes young women his sex slaves.
Oh, boy.
So yeah, the documentary came out, and then he promptly said, "I'm going to sue everybody involved in this documentary." So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And awkward, you
I-
know, in case there's stuff that they find.
Yeah,
Yikes.
it is definitely something. I don't know, because I've seen a couple of the clips and highlights from it, and it's hard not to. The most famous one, somebody dug up this clip from him in a foreign. Uh-oh, did that get stuck? I think it got stuck. I might have to. There we go. There's a clip from him. Maybe it's in the comments here where he is. He's playing a show in a foreign country, and he literally starts singing to the audience "Do you have your passport? Come to America." And he specifically says, "Hey there, girl. Hey, young girl. Do you have your passports? Come to America." Basically, like, it's really creepy. And they're like, dude, is this something out of a South Park episode? Like, he's not doing himself any favors by like doing.
Yes.
And all the girls in the crowd are just screaming, and it's like, this is really, really creepy. So I don't know. I'm curious to see if there will be any fallout from it, or if anything. I mean, I hope by me talking about it here that I don't get sued. Maybe I should shut up. R. Kelly, I don't know you, but maybe stay away from girls for a while. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Drake
Probably
should
not
follow that advice as well.
Oh yeah, there was that whole like, wasn't he dating a girl that was like 16 or 17 or some shit?
Think she was 17.
Yikes.
What is it with
There was a
R&B singers and like I don't get it. What was that, James?
There's a thing about it was like a 2010 concert of Drake's, and the girl comes up on stage and like says that she's 17, and then after that he gropes her, and it's like, wait a minute, Drake, what's going on here?
Drake, no!
Wow, what are you doing?
Think of the children.
Oh, he is.
Oh my God.
No, James. You almost made me spit out my coffee. Or
Bitters or quitters.
yeah, it's true. Wow. I like where this is going. So I felt like I had to talk about it because it's like been all over my news feeds. I don't know why, but yeah. If anyone's wondering why R. Kelly's name keeps popping up everywhere, I think someone in chat was like, "Oh, is that why I saw R. Kelly's name pop up in my Pornhub top results?"
Yikes.
Anyway. Don't diddle kids, everyone out there. This is a PSA to anyone who's thinking about it. Don't do it. You don't.
That's really good advice. Yeah.
You have a wonderful R&B career ahead of you. Don't diddle kids.
Yep. That's pretty good advice.
Also, play VR chat because I saw this clip and it made me laugh a lot. I don't know.
I love this clip.
So I think everyone here should be familiar with VR chat by now, right? I have not yet, unfortunately, been able to experience VR chat, but it's basically like just a VR world where people walk around.
Ready Player One today.
Yeah. No, it. And it's there's a lot of funny and also extremely terrifying stuff that happens on VR chat. And I thought this was great because you can how does it work? You can import your own models into the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
you can fully rig and animate all the stuff in Blender or Maya, and then you take it in a Unity and then have it all done there and then import it into the game.
Yeah, so people have all these crazy custom models and skins and all kinds of stuff in this virtual world, and it gets pretty crazy. So I saw this clip and it made me laugh. The clip is called VR Chat, How a Gun Speaks. So,
how's your day been, buddy?
Pretty alright.
Alright, I don't understand why you're fucking laughing so many asses again. How was your fucking day? Well, Jason, you shut the fuck up. I can't ask you a question.
The way the barrel jiggles.
Mm-hmm. Just as he
How's your day
speaks.
been, buddy?
It's so good. Oh, I love it.
I've
Sorry.
never done VR chat, but I have definitely heard stories.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's where the whole Ugandan Knuckles meme started.
They were everywhere.
Do you know the way?
Taken over.
Yeah.
So yeah, VR chat.
It's January. They're supposed to be coming back.
What?
Oh, no.
Oh, Ugandan Knuckles?
That was the idea.
I don't know. I think it's a cool. I'm curious to see what's next. I hope the day comes where there's just that thing. VR chat is more of just a meme, chatty kind of a lot of people fucking around. But we haven't seen the flagship VR game yet that converts everyone.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I haven't pulled the trigger yet because I look at all the games there are for VR and I'm just not convinced yet.
But Beat Saber.
I have friends that have that, but it doesn't really I don't think just that one game is going to make me go buy that expensive game.
Yeah.
It's really expensive.
Well, and plus that's a single player kind of just fun thing to do, but it's not like an immersive. I've played Beat Saber and I had a lot of fun with it, but you can only sit there and swing at little light bars for so long. I'm talking about the WoW of VR. There's got to be something that just everyone goes, oh, everyone needs to do this.
Sword Art Online or something.
Yeah.
It becomes something you can actually do and everybody can do it and you're transformed completely. Sure. But that's a long way out.
Maybe.
Yeah. And it's too expensive right now. There's a lot of entry level ones that you can use to get in. But I feel if you still keep waiting a couple years, you're going to get the top tier quality now for like that cheap price.
Mm-hmm. And everybody's gonna have them, like
The
like a
big,
TV.
yeah, the biggest thing for me that I've kind of been waiting for, the two things I want them to solve, and they're really close. One of them is the mobility problem is one. There is no full like VR mobility solution where you can walk around. The most recent one I've seen is there's these shoes, and here, let me see if I can pull them up. Actually, this is pretty promising. I forget what they're called. Maybe it's cyber shoes. This might be it. These. So you sit on like this pseudo stool, and so it lets you rotate and walk in every direction. And it has sensors on the bottom. So like here's an example. And so it has little wheels on the bottom to sense like when you're running and stuff, but it also has a directional sensor. So like when you turn and run a different direction, your character in the game turns that direction. So this is getting close. Like you're still sitting, so I don't know if the whole chair thing, like it's not fully immersive, but it's definitely a step in the right direction, I think. The other one besides the mobility problem is the wires problem. Like once it goes completely wireless and I can run around, feel like I'm running around in the 3D space, then like that's probably when I'd pull the trigger.
Well, Jimmy, I got the news for you. The newest one is already wireless.
Is it completely wireless? Power as well?
Yes. Yep.
How long does the battery last?
Oh, heck if I know. I didn't look that deep into it. Couldn't afford it.
Because if I got
$800, I was like, well, that's cool. Can't buy it.
If I can play it for like 3 hours and then I got to charge it for an hour before I can use it again, that's not gonna cut it. I mean, maybe they'll have like a battery pack or something that you can like.
Yeah, you just have an array of battery cells. Just
a battery vest.
That's actually how they simulate like the weight in the VR game.
There you go.
That's actually pretty smart.
Yeah, and then a few years from now, when we realize that strapping pounds of lithium-ion batteries to your chest actually gave everyone cancer, we're all dying now.
Less smart.
But it was so fun.
It was fun while it lasted.
Living that not real life was super fun.
Yeah. So I don't know. The cyber shoes could be a thing. It seems like they did a Kickstarter, and I think they got money? I think they got like 400 times their goal. Here it is. Let me see. I want to see what it was. They like way surpassed their goal. Where's their?
Yeah, because I don't think they're the first. I think the first one I saw similar to it was like that was actually like you're standing up, but it was more like a little containment thing. So it was like around your hips and like mounted, and your shoes had like slotted into the thing.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we'll see. There will be some creative solutions. Hopefully, eventually. I want it to feel like I can just run around without worrying about actually hitting a wall. So it'll
solve that issue. I love those like clip compilations, like people playing pool in VR. They like lean over.
They think there's a table there.
Yeah, they go to lean on the VR table and then just face plant.
There was a really recent one of a girl who was playing. She was playing like a scary game or something, and she like tried to run, and she like ran right into the mantle like of her fireplace.
Oh,
wow!
It was bad. Like she smacked like head first right into it. So like that's a problem. Like you can't if it's immersive enough, people are gonna get jacked. Like I don't know, but we're close. We're close. Maybe in my lifetime. Hopefully, we see some real VR. Maybe by then you'll just plug into your brain. You won't even have to move.
Yeah.
Just hijack those brainwaves.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think the future is going to be weird.
You know, a lot of the movies that they came out with, 2020 was when everything happened.
Yeah, that's when I get my flying car.
Yeah. But it's 2019, so they better hurry this year because
Well,
there's a
we
lot
still
of
got a
stuff we
year.
were supposed to get.
We already have self-driving cars.
True.
Yeah.
Blade Runner takes place in 2019. So there's somebody it's like when the new year happened on Reddit, somebody posted a picture of like a bunch of different like crazy outfits from Blade Runner, and they're like, just a reminder, this is how we're all supposed to dress this year.
That's funny.
So yeah, we're in the future, and some of it has come true, and some of it is crazier than they even could have predicted. Like I don't think any of them really foresaw how crazy like mobile technology was gonna get.
Yeah, true.
I know Ender's Game was pretty close. They had like little tablets and touch screens and virtual desks and stuff like that. I don't know.
It would be crazy to go back in time with like your cell phone and just be like, yeah, it has this cell phone. Actually, it has this processor. It has 8 gigabytes of RAM in it, and they're like, wait, what? 8 gigs of RAM? And you're like, yeah. And then you show them like this tiny little chip, and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot this. You guys still have like an entire room for like 120 kilobytes of RAM, don't you? Forgot about that.
Yeah, you know, the only thing about that though is you couldn't actually show them any of the cool shit on the phone because there would be no internet.
That's true.
Like your device is so dependent on internet that like if you took it back there, you could show them like apps you have downloaded or whatever, but like you couldn't show them Google or anything.
Get a load of this wallpaper. Isn't this great? Look at this.
So this is piano tiles? This is the entertainment of the 21st century right here.
Even that would be pretty mind-blowing. Or just like like taking a picture and like putting filters on it and shit. Like the most basic stuff we take for granted, it would just be like absolutely mind-blowing to them.
Showing them Snapchat filters.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's all done in real time with facial tracking technology.
I mean, you could take that shit even 5 years ago and people would be like,
true,
what the fuck? Like that'd be mind-blowing. Like a lot of that stuff that requires a pretty decent amount of processing power and memory to do in real time. Like, yeah, if just a few years ago, you wouldn't be able to do a lot of that stuff.
Very true.
It's crazy how fast it's happening. Well, we have reached the end of our show. It has officially been 2 hours. It never feels like 2 hours.
No, it didn't.
It goes by so fast.
It was a lot of fun.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thank you for having me. It was wonderful.
Is there any final words or anything you want to plug? Anything you want to put out there in the universe before we call it a night, Angel?
I only really have this month and next month. I have a big deal going on the 21st. The first time they're going to be able to get me to eat nasty beans, Bean Boozled.
Bean Boozled.
I've done that.
I don't do that. I only put tasty things in my mouth. So it's going to be an experience to find tasty things. I can't.
Some of the flavors
for a while. Yeah, they came today. They're pretty cringy. And next month is my 1 year partner anniversary.
Ooh.
So, yeah. I will be 1 year on Twitch partnered. So pretty excited about that.
Are you doing anything special for that? Any incentives or giveaways or anything like that?
I'm going to do a 12-hour stream and tons of incentives and fun. And I'll be advertising that on Twitter and Discord and stuff.
Awesome. Yeah. So make sure everyone that you go to twitch.tv/NakedAngel.
Not NakedAngel.
Not NakedAngel.
Not Angle.
spelled exactly how it sounds, all one word. And I think you can find all your other links there, right? To like your Discord and Twitch and Instagram and all that stuff.
It's all on the page. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So just go there and you can go follow her on all the things and look forward to her 1 year anniversary coming up. She told us about one of the incentives. I don't know if she wants me to. Maybe I won't say because
that's actually okay. So that's this month on the 21st. I'm doing a co-stream. I don't mind telling them. I'm doing a multi-stream to try to get my friend and moderator Nico from Norway to here to spend 2 weeks. So we'll be able to stream together, go to a rock concert, maybe even Disney. The catch is the community incentives will be the beans, which we're both dreading.
Right.
If we actually do complete the goal, I'm going to paint her face while she's here. But if we do the stretch goal, it will be my first time being on stream using a face cam.
What? You heard it here, folks. If you get that stretch goal, Naked Angel will turn on the camera. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, scary and exciting. We'll be drinking. So.
By then, you'll have the liquid courage to flip the switch.
I have from now until then to get ready for that.
Wow, that's cool. Very cool.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, yeah, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule, your busy stream schedule to stop by and hang out with us nerds for a couple hours. And, hopefully someday in the future, you'd consider coming back on the show.
I'd love to be back, and thank you so much for having me. And nerds are sexy. So, anytime.
And James, anything you want to plug? You still doing those YouTube videos?
I'm gonna try. I have a lot of stuff this week. I'm gonna be busy 9 to 3 for the next 3 days, getting certified so I can help low-income families do their income taxes.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, James is finishing school so he can be my full-time accountant when I become famous.
Oh, I need
That's
one of
the
those
plan.
too.
Yep. While everyone else is like username Twitch streamer, I'll be like James CPA. An official title.
Yeah. He had a plan at one point to do be a accountant for, and specifically target Twitch streamers who don't know shit about taxes, because a lot of them don't.
You know,
Most
I
people
smell a
don't.
name change coming up, James. Maybe you should be James CPA.
You got it.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, you should just change your name to Tax That Ass.
Oh my gosh,
That's perfect. That's the end game goal right there.
All right. We started a new tradition here, Angel, when we end the podcast to raid a streamer of your choice. So is there anyone out there that would be fun for us to go raid and check out?
Well, let me look. I wasn't expecting that.
I know.
Exciting.
It's a surprise.
Surprise! Let's see. I know someone who's super hype and super sweet. Metal shoutcaster. I can give it to you
Perfect.
in Discord.
Yeah, just send me the screen name and I'll copy pasta. Vanderforge. Did I say that right?
Yes, sir.
Sweet. All right, we're going to go raid Vanderforge. Thank you, everyone out there in the audience, for being here. We will be back next Wednesday with a friend of James.
Oh, yes.
What's his full Twitch name?
Well, do you want the full edgy version or the one he actually uses now?
Either one.
In which case, he is XX Painless Death XX or
Painless
just
Death.
Painless.
Yeah, Painless. That's right. He's primarily a League streamer, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So definitely come back next week, Wednesday, 6 p.m. for another episode of Hit the Bucket with James's friend Painless. And we're gonna drop a little raid on Naked Angel's friend Vanderforge. So have a good night, everyone, and we'll see you soon.
Good night.
Have a good night, everybody.